Winter nights have always been a challenge for those who sleep in unheated spaces. Long before electric blankets and modern heating, people relied on a range of practical, sometimes ingenious methods to ensure they slept warm and avoided the aches, chills, and restless nights that cold beds brought. Understanding these practices isn't just about curiosity. It's about reclaiming techniques that still hold value for modern survivalists, preppers, and anyone fascinated by how people thrived in harsh conditions. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like this video, and leave a comment sharing your favorite historical survival tactic. One of the simplest and most reliable methods used for centuries was the strategic use of body heat. People would warm their bed with a partner, or even by rotating between sections of the bed themselves before settling in for the night. A more structured approach involved preheating the bedding by lying in it for a few minutes, then quickly getting out and leaving the warmth trapped under heavy blankets or quilts. Layering was critical. Linen sheets closest to the skin, wool blankets above, and sometimes animal skins or furs on top. Wool, in particular, retains heat efficiently and was often used in combination with down or straw-filled mattresses. Today, you can apply this by placing a thick wool or flannel blanket on top of your bedding before climbing in, letting your body gradually warm the layers without relying on electricity. Before modern heating pads, people relied on heated objects to warm their beds. Bricks, stones, or ceramic tiles were heated in the fire, wrapped in cloth, and placed under the covers. This technique was widely used in rural Europe, where hearth fires were central to daily life. The key was to avoid direct contact with the skin to prevent burns while maximizing the slow, radiant heat. For contemporary use, you can replicate this method with modern equivalents like hot water bottles or even rice-filled heat packs warmed in the microwave. Placing them near your feet or lower back before sleep provides a sustained source of warmth that can last several hours, especially when combined with heavy bedding layers. Historical records show that pre-sleep bed warming wasn't only about adding heat. It was also about controlling airflow. People would tuck sheets and blankets tightly around the mattress and use additional quilts to create small insulated pockets of warmth. Some medieval households even used bed curtains or canopies to trap heat in smaller spaces, effectively creating a microclimate around the sleeper. Modern application doesn't require a canopy. Simply ensure your bedding is snug and layered strategically. Placing a thin blanket beneath the fitted sheet can act as an insulating barrier between your body and a cold mattress, while heavier blankets on top trap the warmth, minimizing heat loss. Before the widespread use of springs and foam mattresses were stuffed with straw, hay or moss, often covered with animal hides. This combination provided both cushioning and insulation. Straw, in particular, compresses and molds to the body while trapping pockets of air, which naturally retain warmth. You can experiment with natural alternatives today by layering old wool blankets, fleece, or even using thick rugs beneath your bedding to mimic this insulation. For preppers, keeping materials like wool, straw mats, or even fleece blankets in your emergency stockpile can make a significant difference during cold weather survival scenarios. You know, historical sources repeatedly emphasize that the feet were the first to get cold, and honestly, the hardest to warm, often leading to restless sleep. People would preheat their beds by placing hot water bottles or heated bricks near their feet before entering. Some even wore thick socks or wrapped their feet in additional cloth layers while sleeping. For practical application today, place a heat source or extra blankets specifically at the foot of the bed before you get in. Wearing thermal or wool socks can significantly improve your overall warmth because it prevents heat loss at the extremities, which historically determined whether a night's sleep was comfortable or miserable. Pre-modern sleepers, well, they paid close attention to room conditions. Drafts were minimized, fireplaces were used strategically, and heavy curtains kept heat from escaping. Even without a fireplace, modern survivalists can replicate these principles by sealing windows, closing doors, and using thick curtains. A small, safe heating source can be used to raise the ambient temperature slightly before sleep, but the key is timing. Historical practice suggests warming the bed first and then turning off active heat, letting your preheated bedding maintain a stable microclimate. This approach conserves energy while keeping you comfortably warm. The most effective pre-sleep bed warming, really, came from combining several methods. A historical example would involve layering bedding with wool and furs, preheating the bed with body heat or heated bricks, ensuring feet are insulated, and keeping the room draft-free. Modern survivalists can replicate this by using thick blankets, hot water bottles, insulated socks, and room adjustments to create a controlled warmth zone without relying entirely on electricity. The synergy of these approaches not only ensures warmth, but also reduces the risk of interrupted sleep caused by nighttime chills. Mastering the forgotten art of pre-sleep bed warming is, I'd say, a blend of practicality, observation, and historical ingenuity. Each method is rooted in centuries of experience and still applies to today's survival-minded individuals. By understanding and applying these techniques, you gain more than comfort. You reclaim a piece of history that can make winter nights manageable without modern conveniences. If you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like this video, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences with historical survival techniques. Share this video with fellow history buffs and survivalists so they too can benefit from the practical wisdom of the past. Mastering the art of bed warming is a small step that leads to better, safer, and more comfortable nights in any winter environment.